Yo, what's up, boys? Stoic Tang with another YouTube video. And all my videos that I posted so far, they've all been a reflection of my experiences. They've all been a reflection of what I've dealt with in my life, what I've learned from my experiences, what I've learned from my past. And I'm only speaking to what I've dealt with before. So everything that you hear that I'm saying is based upon a true story. Is based upon a true day where I experienced something. It may not be the current week, it may not be the current month, but every single experience is tied into the video for me. Today, we're going to talk about how loss does not define you. What do I mean by this? Well, loss does not define you. Whether you fail, whether you lose, whether you don't get the outcome that you want, that does not define who you are as a person. You know why? Because honestly, the truth is, if you really tried your best, you could never lose and you could never fail. Same thing for if you never gave up, then you truly never failed. And that's the truth. The only way you can fail, you can truly fail, is if you give up. And if you're still going, and if you're still progressing every single day, or putting in that same energy and effort to becoming a better person, to becoming better at whatever craft you want to perfect, into whatever knowledge that you want to obtain, your efforts have a compound interest. A compound interest comes from that 1% better every single day. You know what? Some days, that compound interest increases. And some days, that compound interest decreases. Whenever you think about life, whenever you think about progressing, whenever you think about yourself failing, but you're still putting in that work, each day won't be a linear equation. What a linear equation is, it's simple. It goes straight up or it goes straight down. But our lives and our progress for whatever we want to pursue in the future is not linear. It's never linear. Sometimes, in different parts of your life, you're going to be going up and then going down and then going back up and then going back down. That's the part of the journey. And we must love the journey. We must take in the journey as every day passes. Because some days, that compound interest is only 0.1%. But it's better than 0%, right? And some days, that compound interest is negative. You know why? Because you do negative things in the day. You have a negative mind in the day. You do negative actions in the day. That gives you a negative compound interest. It brings your progress backwards. It pushes you back to a place where you do not want to be. Which is why you have to remember that every single decision you take affects you. Every single decision you take affects that compound interest. Whether I drink water or whether I drink an aloe vera, sugar, I am negating my compound interest each day by drinking multiple things that aren't meant for me, by eating things that are making me feel unhealthy and unhealthy in the body. And you know what that does to your mind? That does a great number of things to your mind. As you see from Conor McGregor is a person who believes very heavily in this feature, in this belief. he believes very heavily in this. He believes that every single action you take compounds, whether it's negative or positive, to you becoming successful, to you going to where you want. And the decisions you make, no matter how big or no matter how small, all compound and eventually shape your life to where you are today. Shape your life to where it is in the future. And right now, if you're in a place where you do not want to be, if you're in a place where you feel like you're in the lowest slums, you are in the trenches, you are not progressing, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. Are you doing actions that will give you a negative compound interest in your life? Or do you only believe that you are doing things that will make your life righteous? Because there's a big difference between thoughts and actions. And as we all know, thoughts mean nothing if action is not taken. If you think about doing the good thing, but you do the wrong thing, guess what? That's a negative compound interest. You will be not on track. You will actually go backwards. That's why some people in their weight loss journey, they gain weight because of a negative compound interest. Because the actions they took were the wrong ones. But as we know, weight loss journeys, they have fluctuations. Some days we drink more water, and that doesn't count as our actual weight. But that's another topic for another day. That's more about the body. What I'm thinking and what I'm saying about is about taking failure as not failure. Taking loss as not a loss. You know what a loss really is? It is a stepping stone. It is a rock on a rock mountain where you can climb forward and up. Loss only teaches you lessons. Loss shows you and puts you in places that you do not want to deal with anymore, that you can't physically handle. Because trust me, I've been put into situations where I couldn't physically handle it, where I couldn't mentally handle it. But you know what I did? I said, okay, I acknowledged my loss. I accepted the loss. I accepted that I wasn't doing the right things. And then I changed my thoughts and I changed my actions to match. And once these things match, my results changed as well. The paradigm of your mind, what the paradigm is a theoretical framework of how your mind works. People always say, whatever you think is whatever happens to you. Whatever you think is whatever you do. Whatever you think becomes your outcomes. It's much more complicated than that. Whatever you think is rooted into how you were shaped and built as a kid. And that paradigm, that theoretical framework of your mind cannot be changed overnight. That's why habits are super important. That's why addictions are super hard to get rid of. Because that theoretical framework has been adjusted in your mind as a kid, as a teenager, and will be in your mind for however, as long as you do not want or have the will enough or have the strength enough to change it. How can you change that paradigm, that theoretical framework in your mind that has been shaped and built in you? You know how to change it? No. It's hard. It's hard to try and change your mind when you can't even see the root of the problem. Which is why to be a thinker, to be a person with intellect. You must find and accept the loss, accept the failure. And the number one thing to do after you accept the loss, accept the failure, accept that you're not doing the right things, is to isolate yourself. Complete shutout of anything, of anybody, of any device, of any light. I want you to put yourself in a secluded area where you can only hear the birds or the crickets chirping or the wind howling. And that's the moment, that's the time of your life where you can develop and shape your mind, develop and shape your theoretical framework to change. Because the only way we'll change is by changing our theoretical framework. And the only way we're able to change that theoretical framework is by isolation. Isolate yourself. At least 10 minutes per day. It could be in your car. It could be in your room. It could be out in the nature. It could be in the restroom, for all I could care. Isolate yourself. Cut out all distractions and think. Just think. Let your mind wander. Find out what you need to find out about yourself. And see, what kind of person are you? Who do you want to be? What are the thoughts you're thinking? Where can your mind wander to? Why does the world act as the world acts? Why do people act as the way they act? Why am I acting the way I act? There are an infinite amount of questions for a thinker, and a thinker never stops thinking. Remember that. The moments of silence are the moments where you can spark up an idea about yourself or about the world to change. Never let failure define you. Isolate. And trust me, you won't regret it. Stoic Tang. That's all I got today, boys. I hope this resonated with you. It's a bit long video. Peace out.